It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, October 9th. I see you guys in comments, and I know that today is the day that Milton is supposed to hit land in Florida. So many of my favorite people are Floridians. So for all of you that are in the storm's path, I am praying. I am crossing my fingers. I know a lot of you could not evacuate. And those of you specifically that I know just off the top of my head, Josh, Billy, Ray, so many of you are like right there. I'm thinking about you guys major. As we go on through the day, I would love to get updates. You can DM me. You can send it on the Facebook group, Daily Dose of Donna. So many of you are joining every single day. Great conversations in there. We have a lot to talk about today. Not only will we talk about yesterday's episode of RHONY, which I forgot about. I was watching old reruns of Punk'd last night to kind of get into Ashton Kutcher's head. But yes, I forgot about RHONY, which is not a good sign. But I did watch it last night. And then of course, we have to talk about so many other celebrities, Us Magazine's reality stars of the year. And if we agree, of course, we're going to talk about some updates with Garth Brooks. We're going to talk about Anne Hathaway. And I am scared, but I have to, I think, talk about more updates with Diddy and maybe a Bethenny update. Let's get into it. This is your daily dose of Donna. Calma to you two. Welcome to today's episode of Calma by Anne Hathaway. OMG. Can I tell you, I wish more than anything I had access to I guess I probably do. Stories that I posted on Instagram and Facebook posts that I posted probably over 10 years ago about Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was kind of like my first foray into a celebrity driving me crazy. And there's two people in the world. There's people that love Anne Hathaway, and there's people that can't stand Anne Hathaway. But I would say that's probably about everyone. Let's be real. There's people that love Bethenny, can't stand Bethenny, especially today. Ooh. There's people that love me and can't stand me. I see you. By the way, I have to say this. Emily Simpson from Real Housewives of OC was wearing a sweatshirt the other day that said, "Good morning, friends and haters." And I was like, I need that. And she just DM'd me and she's like, "What's your address? I'm sending you one." So I'm going to be wearing Emily Simpson merch soon, and I can't wait. Good morning, friends and haters. This is your daily dose of Donna. As I am so lucky to have haters because I look at it as a positive. You know who else has crazy haters right now? Is Ballerina Farms. It's still going bad. I posted about this in my stories. You guys, if you ever want to know how horribly mean the internet can be, go and read Ballerina Farm comments. I love Ballerina Farms. Love. Because specifically of all the hate she got just recently. I think I learned this about myself. Maybe some of you guys know this. I think I've become a contrarian because of Daily Dose of Donna, meaning if everyone in the world hates one person, I think I like them. And then vice versa. If everyone loves someone, I'm like, no. Is it me? Am I the drama? But Ballerina Farms is so controversial ever since all of the articles that just came out recently over the summer saying like, oh, she's a kept woman and her husband doesn't allow her. But I woke up this morning bright and early at 5:55, and it's pitch black here in LA at 5:55. I'm not a fan. It feels like I wake up at 2 a.m. It's awful. So I made myself my Nespresso in my robe, slowly walked over to my couch to do a little Instagram surfing because that's how I like to wake up before I have to get my kids up. And sure enough, Ballerina Farm's beautiful post about gathering milk from her dairy farm that she created with her husband, and they're on their farm with all their kids involved, and the families involved, and the friends are involved, and the babies there, and the dogs are there, and they're getting milk, and they're giving milk to the calves. And I thought it was the most wholesome, beautiful video. I was like, this is a dream. I don't have the patience, energy, or ability to do anything she's doing, but I thought it was so beautiful. The comments were so intense, so angry, and it really made me say to myself, like, I don't know, maybe people need to get laid more. Maybe people need to purchase some VIIA. What is VIIA again? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because Daily Dose of Donna is sponsored by VIIA. VIIA is an amazing THC brand. They also have organic and vegan hemp extracts, perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. It is the only lifestyle hemp brand. VIIA uses compounds found in hemp along with active plant extracts to create products, each with a specific effect in mind. So you guys tell me, what do you need the most today? Better sleep, to ease your anxiety, to enhance your mood, or just get high? They have something for you. I think I would do anything to ease my anxiety. My anxiety is at an all-time high, and I imagine a lot of you guys feel the same. With natural disasters, with the election around the corner, with all the drama in the world, with Abe selling Bitcoin. I mean, it's just too much. But if you are not wanting to get high, they also have zero THC products. So you can still take advantage of the CBD line with products designed for sleep, focus, and energy that will keep you glowing all year long. You can get products with 0 milligrams of THC to 100 milligrams of THC. And let me just tell you, if I had 100 milligrams of THC, I would probably start eating my wall behind me. Like, that's just not for me. Okay. I like small micro dosing of any of this stuff. They're an industry leader. VIIA has over 500,000 customers served, made in the USA. Maybe they're made on ballerina farms. Who knows? Award-winning service. If you have customer support issues, they are there for you. So if you're 21 and over, check out the link to VIIA in my description and use the code DailyDose to receive 15% off. After you purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. Please support Daily Dose of Donna and tell them we sent you. This fall, enhance your everyday with VIIA. Everyone should have a little bit of, a mood balancer these days. I feel like we all need a little bit of something. We need a little bit of something. Okay, there's a lot of ballerina farms haters even in my comments. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay positive. Maybe not really. Let's be real. So, oh, by the way, my favorite YouTube comment from yesterday was, I mean, I get so many random comments, and some are really nice and amazing, and some are just horrendous. But one comment I got yesterday was like, wow, Donna, how low can you go? Are you hard up for cash? First, you're sponsored by vibrators, and now drugs. I mean, listen, if we don't all have the ability to have a good O and a good high, then what is life worth? Pick your poison. This is an Adam and Eve situation, okay? We are allowed to enjoy our lives. Just putting it out there. Also, add in all my other things. I got meat. I got hair growth. I got skin. All right? I got my blue mean that's coming up soon. I got the new one. This one's good. Don't worry. We're not talking about that today. So, Danielle says, I just ordered my VIIA hemp and use your discount code. Thank you so, so much. Mark says, we will know that Donna is needing money when she begins flashing for membership. So that being said, become a members only. What if you just saw my boobs? Like, what would YouTube do if all of a sudden my boobs were just out? Probably be like, damn, girl. Okay, so let's keep going with some stories. I mentioned Anne Hathaway earlier, so let's just keep it going. You guys, you're not going to believe this shit, but the famous interviewer, when everyone was really, really tough on Blake Lively, that woman, she has now come back out with another video about Anne Hathaway being horrible. And I hate to say it because I am not an Anne Hathaway fan and I have seen the clips and I'll show you the clips, but I hate to say it. At some point, you have to wonder, is it the interviewer's fault? Like, you know how they say, like, if it happens one time, okay. If it happens twice, if like you're constantly having the same drama with people, maybe look within. I I don't understand how this woman is like how she possibly can have so much drama with so many people. So there, I guess, is an interview. Hold on. I'm going to find her TikTok so we can see the actual original interview from when she first talked about Anne Hathaway. Um, okay. 9.8 million views on this one video on TikTok. I know she also posts on YouTube and stuff, but let's watch the original video that she posted where she was getting attitude from Anne Hathaway. And let me be real, Anne Hathaway really is not a pleasant person in this video and in many other places. Comma. Let's watch it together. Her name is Kirsty La.
So I was going to ask you to do the first question in singing. Can I sing it to you and you can sing back the answer?
Well, I won't be doing that, but you're more than welcome to sing.
Kirsty Fla, do you feel that love was more passionate back then, or people would sacrifice more for love than we do today?
No.
No?
No.
Do you remember your first crush?
No.
You don't? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Okay, it's so typical Anne Hathaway because Anne Hathaway is just I think she just has this vibe about her, which is really strange and it's hard to reconcile because she also pulls this like really kind of goofy, funny character. She drives me nuts, you guys. She really does drive me nuts. Now, this comment is so funny because Carl Wolf says, the interview says, "Are you Anne Hathaway?" And Anne says, "No." Now, nostalgic pop culture says, "Oh, this woman has multiple villain origin stories." So I have to say, you start to wonder, is it? Is it her? Or is it really Anne Hathaway? Or is it Blake Lively? But she came out and said this.
Yesterday, I did receive an email. It was...
Oh,
Okay,
whoops.
I have a
So
few
sorry.
more.
Here we go.
Yesterday, I did receive an email. It was from Anne Hathaway's publicist, and he forwarded a message to me from Anne Hathaway. I would have to say I was pretty shocked. I had not expected her to reach out to me at all. I thought she was never going to even see that video, but she did. And she did something pretty amazing. She sent me a long email explaining to me what she was going through right then when she did this interview, and she apologized for being giving me an awful interview. Basically, it was so touching to me. Just talking about it makes me almost teary-eyed because I was just so grateful that she did that. And it was a very personal note, and we decided that I wouldn't share exactly what was in the email.
Okay, so it goes on to basically say that Anne Hathaway apologized. So there's a couple things that I have to say about this. Number one, Mark brings up a very good point. Is she always number 200 at the press junket? Because by the time they get to them, they cannot hold back when asked another stupid question. He wrote a name. I'm going to say stupid. Who was your first crush? Anne Hathaway does not need to answer that. I'm imagining she wasn't promoting a comedy. It was like all in black and like her hair was short. She was like in drama mode, right? So I do believe there is a world where you do get to a point where you want to just just yell at people because you're getting asked the most ridiculous questions. However, I do feel bad because it seems to be always directed at this woman. Now, my question is for any other people out there that are doing press junkets and doing press and doing these long days of reporting where they're going from room to room or chair to chair or whatever. I don't even think they're going from room to room. I'm imagining that the reporter just gets traded in, traded out, traded in, traded out. I would love to hear from other people saying, like, this is a common experience. The only difference is this Kirsty woman is actually bringing it out and talking about it. Whereas, like, so many of us, it's an unspoken rule just to kind of keep it between us, right? The actor is an asshole, but it's okay. I'm just not going to say anything. So I would be interested to know what the reality is there. But Anne Hathaway did gain a point or two for doing this. However, I think she's petrified because of Blake Lively's career, and she sees Blake Lively has completely lost her career right now. Like, I don't know about you guys, but tell me a time that you will see Blake Lively walking down the street with Ryan Reynolds holding hands and matching. I haven't seen it in like 5 days, so there must be some sort of a break in their love schedule. But tell me one time that you haven't seen her since all of the It Ends With Us debacle and not thought immediately she's a bitch. Like, it's ingrained in our brains. So I will say the owner of Calma, this Anne Hathaway, is doing the right thing because it gives her an ability to say, yeah, I'm not perfect. Like, I wasn't perfect. I was kind of an asshole. And I think there's nothing better, as we've talked about on this show so many more times, than accountability and being able to say, like, yeah, I kind of suck sometimes. And I was tired and I was stressed and I was going through a breakup or I was on my period or whatever. So there's a little bit of both. Now, Michelle brings up another point that says, who keeps going back on all these old interviews and releasing them in the present day? It seems kind of dumb to do this. I have to say, as a reporter, she's making a very bad move. But as trying to maybe get YouTube views, TikTok followers, and make a name for herself, she's doing a great job. No one would know who she was if she wasn't approaching it this way, right? This is her ability to get her name out there. So Kirsty Flaw, here's to you. And let's hope no one else is a jerk to you. People are going to be so damn nice to her now. If they see her in a press junket, they're going to be like, BFF, and they're gonna like take pictures together and like give her a best friend locket, like a friendship bracelet. Now, Mark says he's releasing his 2011 interview with me. You will finally see how I ended up with a head wash and Diet Dr. Pepper. He says the truth will be told. And the truth is, I never drank Diet Dr. Pepper. It was Diet Coke. So get it right, Mark. All eyes on you. All right, let's keep it going. Another interesting story, which I thought was I would say kind of a disappointment. Us Magazine, who knew Us Weekly did this, but they release a list of reality stars of the year on a yearly basis. And Kyle Richards got the cover of this. She's been named the top reality star of the year. Now, let me go through. I'll share the screen with Us Magazine so we can look at it together and talk about, the other women that were also reality stars of the year. Is it just women? I actually can't even be confident about that. I don't know if it's just women, but these top 3 are women. Okay, in this picture so far, we have Kyle Richards, we have Chelsea from Selling Sunset, Chelsea Lagzani, I believe that's how you say her last name, Lazkani, sorry, and Leah Kateb from Love Island this summer. We also have Jen Tran from The Bachelorette and now Dancing with Stars. We have Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House and her baby, Kristen Doty, Monica Garcia from Salt Lake City, Taylor Frankie Paul from Mormon Wives, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Season 1, David Isaacman, and Abby Romeo, the sweethearts from Love on the Spectrum Netflix. The way I love them. Victoria Kalina from the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader Show on Netflix. We already mentioned Chelsea. Julie Chen from Big Brother. I am obsessed with every single choice except for Kyle. Goodbye, Kyle. Kyle does not deserve to be listed on top reality star of the year when we have so much competition. I absolutely agree with Leah from Love Island. No one took over the reality landscape like Leah. She was a nobody in the online social space and then left the show with 2-3 million followers. I think it's really got to be all women because someone said no Jax Taylor. No, it was really all women. Kristen Doty, I kind of like that idea. Jen Tran, nothing special to me on The Bachelorette. I don't think she did anything that like jumped out other than just like a normal season. Chelsea on Selling Sunset, I understand she had a pretty big storyline this season with the ending of her marriage, finding out that her husband was having an affair, but we've seen it done a million times over. I'm not really buying that allows her to be a reality star. Julie Chen Moonves is not a reality star. She's a host of Big Brother and she's been it for 47 years. Take her off the list, right? There's absolutely no reason. Lindsay Hubbard, 1,000,000%. Are you joking? Lindsay Hubbard is why we talk about being hard and soft at the same time. There's like, she is the reality star of the year in my eyes. There's no question. I'm wondering if there's anyone else that is like so. I guess Monica Garcia and Taylor Frankie Paul are both good choices. Monica obviously threw the world for a tailspin in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last season. She made that season so good. And of course, Taylor Frankie Paul is the reason that we're all watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Interesting. Danny says, how is Phaedra not on the list? And this I agree too. So what I'm saying is that I mean, Victoria from Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, she was the star of that show. She was the underdog, like unsung hero of that show. The two from Love on the Spectrum, so sweet, but reality stars of the year? Like, no, come on. I personally don't understand half the choices, but I truly do not understand how Kyle Richards got the freaking cover. Now, another thing about this is Kyle Richards' cover said straight up, it said, let me pull it up for you. Kyle comes clean. Did she? So you guys, did she come clean? No, she didn't. Now, a couple things that we find out from this interview, like I 100% was like, this is the moment she's going to come out. Wouldn't that be the most unbelievable moment if she took this moment and said, instead of Kyle comes clean, Kyle comes out. Now, we can't obviously, throw this out there for her, but it would be really nice if she did finally get a little honest about her relationship with Morgan, because I think we all know. But apparently, according to this article, here are some moments. It says, number one, it starts by saying Kyle Richards is showing off her 10 tattoos. 10. She just did this on the first day of October in the spacious living room of her 10,000 square foot colonial style LA home, which is decked out for Halloween with pumpkins and autumnal decor, to talk about being crowned reality star of the year. And now she just got 2 delicate butterflies on her chest. She is literally getting 10 tattoos. I mean, within 2 years, right? She said, after I got it, I said to the tattoo artist, I can't believe I did that. That was really brave of me. Now she says because she's going through the split of with her husband of 27 years, she has clearly entered her unbothered era. She says, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. I'm going to do what I want. It feels really good. And I want to know from you guys, do you believe that? Do you believe she doesn't care what anyone thinks anymore? So it goes into talking about her 14 years on the show and everything going on. But then it says somehow the fun and candid star still manages to surprise us. In the wake of her split from Umansky, fans began speculating about her sexuality because of her friendship with country singer Morgan Wade. She's made an art of stirring the pot and acting completely shocked when all hell breaks loose, and she always keeps us wanting more. The upcoming 14th season of Beverly Hills, set to air later this year, promises just that as Kyle navigates her separation from Umansky and has an epic on-screen meltdown where she threatens to quit the show. Hence, here, the busy star, who's currently starring in the LGBTQ plus Christmas movie, The Holiday Exchange. By the way, has anyone actually seen that? Do we need to do a watch party for The Holiday Exchange to see Kyle make out? Is she hooking up with a chick in it? She's also talking about 2 new 1-hour TV series and a docuseries with Reese Witherspoon as a producer, and a couple things that people asked her. or that us asked her, why do you think you resonate with fans so much? And I'm curious from you guys, and I love reading your comments. Do you think she resonates with fans so much? Her answer to this is, I think people appreciate that I am my authentic self. At the end of the day, I know I'm being myself. Oh, oh, okay. Do you have any trepidation? Oh, and then it talks about getting on the show, how things have changed. Okay, who cares? Um, she says, they asked, when you look back, do you have anything you regret showing? She says, I may have had some drunk moments, but I feel like we probably won't be seeing those again for a while. I haven't been drinking for 2 years and 3 months now. You'll see a split here and there without the margarita. They said you weren't sure you were going to return for season 14. How come? She says the last 2 years have been the most difficult of my life, and I didn't want to put myself through the scrutiny. I didn't feel supported by a lot of the cast. So I felt like I wanted to disappear for a while. And why the change of heart, they asked? She says, well, we do have a lot of fun times too. And the producers are family to me at this point. So I knew that would be another loss for me. My husband was just about to move out. What has it been like since Mauricio left? She basically is saying, it's emotional. I'm sure she's happy though. Let's be real. She says that I'm here alone with 6 dogs. Am I a crazy dog lady? Maybe. At least you have the dogs. Us Magazine says, she goes, it's like having 6 husbands. It's a lot of work, but they make me laugh and make me feel safe. They sleep in my room. One sprawls across. You guys, I love dogs. I love dogs. I love my Murphy and Frankie more than anything in the world. I want you to see this picture and you tell me if this doesn't look like cuckoo in a nutshell. You guys, look at this picture. What? I'm screenshotting this one because this is the cover photo for today's YouTube video. What? Y'all, she looks odd. Interesting. Will we get more insight into your marriage and separation next season? She goes, Mo shot with me quite a bit. He'll come over for dinner and it's like nothing has changed, yet everything has changed. The best way I can put it is that we're family. It's easy for us to get along because we never fought. That was not an issue in our marriage. There's so much love there. What's it like filming with him? Shooting scenes after he moved out were very difficult. They said, do you consider yourself single? She goes, no, I don't think of myself like that. Then it says, there have been continued speculation about a secret relationship between you and Morgan. What has that been like? She says, well, she's not used to being in the public eye. So I felt bad that she was going through that. She's not used to being in the public eye, but she is a touring musician who wants to produce a documentary about her. What? I can't. She said it's quieted down for sure, but I was at a music festival where she was playing and it was like, oh my God, Kyle's backstage. They get excited. I tune it out. Yeah. Oh, there's one more picture that I think you guys need to see. This is a good one. She's talking about how she almost quit. She was like, I can't do this anymore. This is Kyle almost quitting, loving every second of it, right? And they said in the question, it says, why did you quit the show? Why did you threaten to quit the show? She said, I had a meltdown, my first in 14 years. I don't think I can physically do this anymore. I walked off the set and didn't shoot the next day. I was at my breaking point. I have so much on my plate and some of the women just push. And then it says, but you were able to continue. She goes, yeah, I needed that break. I think they saw I was really struggling and were reaching out to me. They actually helped me get through the rest of the season. Kyle is a little bit like the Heather Dubrow of this show in the sense that like you can dish it, but you can't take it. Everyone is so scared to like upset Kyle. It really bothers me. And what's crazy is like she's gaslighting us in some weird way because she's like, I am so authentic, aren't I? That's why they love me because I am exactly who I am. And we're like, but we're watching and I don't know who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Anyway, she came clean about absolutely nothing. The only thing that she came clean in is the fact that she probably took a shower. So she was clean that day. She didn't come clean about shit. Weird choice for Kyle being reality star of the year. What did she do last season, you guys? We saw nothing. We were all upset. We were all disappointed last season. Like really surprised by this. Shannon didn't even get it. Like, it's kind of crazy that we didn't get any of that. Anyway, let's move on to another story because it's frustrating. Is anyone else frustrated with the story? Like, I'm frustrated that she got that. Let's move on to a Garth Brooks story. Now, when I was talking about the Garth Brooks situation where he was accused of rape and assault by a former hairstylist of his, remember I said it here in the show? I was like, I have a feeling that this is an affair gone wrong. And no one can confirm or deny that. But Garth Brooks has now gone back to sue. He filed yesterday, sued her for damages and publicly names her after claiming she demanded millions. This is really making me think this wasn't an actual grape situation, that this was an actual, this was like an affair gone wrong, like a disgruntled, angry ex or something. This is what it feels like for me. But it says Garth Brooks has named his sexual assault accuser and sued her for compensatory and punitive damages after alleging she tried to extort millions from him. He filed the complaint on Tuesday, that's yesterday, with the district court for the Southern District of Mississippi. He named his accuser after attempting to keep their identities private with a previous court filing. He said when Jane Roe threatened to publish lies about him, intending to blackmail plaintiff into paying her millions of dollars, plaintiff filed this lawsuit to preserve his reputation, establish the truth, and put a stop to her scheme. For the sake of his family and out of respect for Roe's family as well, plaintiff titled this action John Doe versus Jane Roe. So that was the original lawsuit that he had sued her before it got sold to the media or the story got leaked. Now it says because his accuser allegedly leaked his name, Brooks decided to submit a secondary filing that included both of their names per the legal documents submitted on Tuesday. In the filing, the Friends in Low Places hitmaker asked for compensatory damages caused by defendants' intentional infliction of emotional distress, defamation, and false light invasion of privacy, including incidental and consequential damages. That is a very smart sentence that I imagine means a lot. You know, I'm just not a lawyer. I kind of get it. This article is not saying her name. So I don't know where her name is actually listed. I'm sure some of you guys have found her name. I'm not really sure who the name is. Have you guys seen what her name is? Okay. Oh, interesting. Sunny Day says, don't discredit someone not knowing what actually happened. You may eat your words later. Watch yourself. Okay, I'm watching myself. I'm just saying, this is what it feels like to me. I'm not her attorney. I'm not anyone's attorney. So there's some text messages that have been revealed, which are going back and forth that seem very flirty between the two of them. She is saying that she was forced into having these conversations. She was feeling very, she's saying she's accused him of making repeated remarks about having a threesome and putting her in these positions. I can't personally understand why someone continues to work with someone by choice. When you are a hairstylist for Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks, and you feel like you're being treated badly by someone, and yeah, I'm really not into this Sunny. Ban user. Bye. Okay. I can't imagine that this woman would continue to work with someone. Like, fine, sue them, do all you can, but then don't continue to work with them and text back and forth with them and this and this and that over and over and over. It's feeling a lot of it's feeling like, and I understand we've talked about this, when you're a victim of someone that you are controlled by. But I don't personally understand exactly why and how they could be, she was controlled by this man that she had to keep working with him for 3 years. something it does feel a little bit off about this. Why would he go back and sue her now? I'm just giving you guys an update. But yes, I'm watching myself. If I was nervous to talk about Garth Brooks, then I couldn't do my show. Like, I truly can talk about all of this. Now, this is really interesting. Brittany says, as a makeup artist, you have to deal with bad clients, but you cannot take their booking the next time they call. So Brittany can, from my, like, in my opinion, Brittany, what she's saying, it makes so much sense. I understand needing to work. I do. But if you are already at the caliber where you're doing hair for huge multimillionaire, massive mega celebrities, you can get yourself a job. It's not like she was struggling to work. I'm sure she could get work outside of him. So it feels a little bit strange. But he definitely cheated on his wife, in my opinion. Like, no question, whatever he did, cheated on his wife. Yes, he definitely went outside the marriage, whether or not it's accepted or normal in their marriage. Everyone has an agreement that we don't know about. But something did feel a little bit funky about that. All right, let's get into our next story. Guys, I am so hesitant to talk about this stuff, but I'm going to talk about it. However, I am going to use an amazing creator named Kempire. If you guys know who Kempire is, Kempire has been talking about this on his Instagram. So we're going to get into a little ditty just for a second because I was very, very, all over this Jaguar right on Piers Morgan's story. As you guys know, and maybe you guys don't know, but if you look it up or if you've seen this, Piers Morgan has now made a statement to retract the comments that were made by Jaguar Wright about Jay-Z and Beyonce. He is now, as of 3 hours ago, this article comes out that says, Piers Morgan apologizes to Jay-Z and Beyonce after the Jaguar Wright interview. It says Piers Morgan is issuing a public apology to Jay-Z and Beyonce after airing claims against the couple from blogger Jaguar Wright. In this interview, Wright also discussed the claims of sex trafficking against Sean Diddy Combs and the larger music industry. And it's been all edited out after the couple's lawyers reached out, Piers Morgan said on his show last night. In this episode, it featured interviews with Wright. We also saw from that DJ Vlad, who was a very, very big supporter of, it sounded to me like a very anti-Jaguar, but pro Diddy and the, Jay-Z crew. And then, of course, that attorney, Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Wright used the platform to also air unsubstantiated allegations that the couple is involved in similar criminal activities. So she was basically comparing in some weird way Beyonce and Jay-Z to Diddy, which I don't believe is necessarily the right move. And that's why that attorney said immediately, like, I think that she should get legal counsel. Now, a lot of you guys are remembering that Jaguar Wright has never been sued. From what we know, we've never seen that she's sued. We've never seen that she's gotten a cease and desist. If she has, we don't know about it. She's definitely going out there and speaking as much as, like, just yesterday, she was speaking on YouTube. I'm not getting into the contents of that video for different reasons, but I will say here on this show why Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyers have never once said anything towards Jaguar in terms of cease and desist, threatens, lawsuits, served, nothing. No one has ever said anything like that to them, but they have said this too. They have now released a statement or a claim towards Piers Morgan. And that to me makes it seem a little bit more interesting. So why? Why do you guys think that has happened? As we know, she's been speaking very, very openly for years about this. So I'm going to play you 2 Instagrams by Kempire. You can follow him at the Kempire on Instagram. He also has his own podcast. I like his content. I don't know all of it, but I like what he has to say about this. So this is really interesting. Let's watch this together. 2 of his reels, one of them talks about how they're originally getting sued or threatening.
Jay-Z and Beyonce are responding legally to the recent interview that Jaguar Wright did on Piers Morgan. So much so, Piers had to issue an apology. One of the resounding claims that Jaguar Wright must be telling the truth is the fact that no celebrity has ever sued her. But some experts will say that, well, technically, they don't want discovery if they were to sue her or to give her attention by suing her. But Piers Morgan has a huge platform and has the money to be sued and has a lot to lose.
As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. We apologise.
Looks like Jay-Z and
Okay.
Beyonce are responding.
So then he released another, because a lot of people are kind of deducing the fact that the reason that they've sued or threatening to sue Piers and are going after Piers is because now it's legitimate, right? Not legitimate because it's said, but legitimate in the sense that it's not just some wackadoo, as they can put her as. They can kind of categorize Jaguar Wright as just some wackadoo who's just like conspiracy theorist going off talking about all kinds of crazy stuff and with a camera in front of her, which, by the way, there are a lot of people that are just saying whatever they want to say in front of a camera. We all have platforms now, or the ability to. But because it's on Piers Morgan, now all of a sudden you realize, whoa, it feels a little bit more legit. And Kempire goes into why this was actually done.
It's an interview that
Here we go.
So why did Jay-Z and Beyonce finally respond to this Jaguar Wright interview on Piers Morgan? It's because of this guy, Rupert Murdoch. So it should be noted that Piers Morgan, as you know, has been well known on television, mostly in the UK, and has associations with Rupert Murdoch for many years. Well, his YouTube channel is 50% owned by News UK. You know who owns News UK? Yes, billionaire Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News and many other news channels. As you can see here, Piers Morgan's Uncensored YouTube channel, he doesn't own outright. He owns 50% and News UK owns the other 50%. As you can see here, he has a deal with a 3-year deal with News Corp. And pay attention, 3-year deal, 2024. That deal is probably up for negotiation. So a lot of fans have had the argument that if Jaguar Wright was lying, why hasn't anyone ever sued her? Well, some legal experts will say, first of all, these celebrities probably do not want the discovery. Also, it would be a waste of time and money suing her. If anything, it puts a spotlight on her when they just want her to go away. But you know who has a lot to lose here besides Piers Morgan and his contract with News UK being almost up? Rupert Murdoch, $20.5 billion to lose. So that might be the billion-dollar answer to why Beyonce and Jay-Z finally decided to denounce anything that Jaguar Wright has said about them being a nasty little couple.
I find it so interesting. So as you guys know, and some of you are saying in the comments, Rupert Murdoch has a crazy, crazy life behind him. He has been responsible for so many companies, and it's a fascinating story. And I don't say fascinating because I like him. The story is fascinating, but that's because they created even a show based on this. Succession was based on Rupert Murdoch and his family, and the fact that he's this conglomerate that owns so much of the media. And by the way, you guys, you don't realize, I mean, I'm saying this like you don't realize this, but we all need to realize that media is all owned by just a few people. It's weird. It's like you think there's so many different places that we're getting our information from, but most places that we're getting our information from are then owned by another umbrella company, which is then owned by another umbrella company. And at the end of the day, there's 3 media conglomerates that are out there that own everything. That's why Disney and ABC are intertwined with Hulu and this and that. Everything is connected. And it presents a problem when you have, there's a lot of money on the line and there's a lot of bias out there. And yesterday I posted on my Instagram stories just about mainstream media, and I could go into a whole thing about that because I'm learning so much just since my eyes have been open to how we're fed stories that aren't necessarily true about everything. It could be about, world events. It could be about, you know, it could be about things that we're eating. It could be about music that we're listening to and the people behind it. Like, it's really, really crazy. So it's it's really important that you just stick to me, because I will never, ever not know the facts. I can't say that out loud. I can't say that without laughing, because the truth is I am just filtering through some interesting stuff and giving it to you, but I'll get things wrong for sure. Michelle says, some of us are getting our information from an iRestore helmet and TikTok. Love you, Donna. That's true. Stick around here and you'll get all the information of things that I'm interested in. Okay. I am owned by Craig Conover. This is a Craig Conover production. Daily Dose of Donna is sponsored by Sewing Down South. Why doesn't Sewing Down South sponsor Daily Dose of Donna? For the amount of time that I give them, they should be paying me. Gosh. Okay, so that is what I'll say about the Diddy stuff. I did have a really bad dream of Diddy last night. Like, he is not good in my brain right now. We are not on good terms. I do not like him. Let's get into another story, which is like, if you're talking about controversial, I am just about to, like, I almost want to put on a disguise. And I just, if I don't talk about it with you guys, who the hell am I going to talk about it with? I feel like I have to talk about this Bethenny craze that's happening right now. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Okay. But this is what I'm going to talk about, because I'm not going into politics. We are not talking about what she said. We're just talking about Bethenny. So, as you guys know, Bethenny Frankel has been posting everywhere pictures. Let me reframe the conversation. Okay. I'm going to frame the conversation and start here. Bethenny Frankel is the queen of controversy. Bethenny Frankel is someone who loves to get people's panties in a knot, or whatever they call. She loves to piss people off. She gets off on people pissing people off. She knows that the more she can kind of create conversation and drama and stress in her comment section, like, it's good for her. What happens was, we all knew Bethenny Frankel to be this person when she was doing things like the Reality Reckoning and the Rachel Leviss interview, when she was getting all this like hate from all of us Bravo lovers saying like, why are you doing this? Why are you getting involved? The law offices of Bethenny Frankel, etc. Then something happened and the world turned pro Bethenny. I don't know if you guys felt this way, but everyone could not stand Bethenny last year when she was doing the Reality Reckoning craziness. And remember, she had Nene on her show, and then she had Leah, and it was like nuts. And then, not Leah, Rachel. And then she stopped talking about reality TV. She stopped talking to controversial people, and she started opening up about her breakup. And she started talking about chicken salad, and she started talking about coffee, and she started to do all of these really kind of funny lifestyle type TikToks. And her TikTok has been blowing up. And people are just obsessed with Bethenny. I will say this to the end of my life. She will never create more chaos in comments when I talk about Bethenny content. Well, I don't know. Jeff Lewis and Heather McDonald are up there, but Bethenny, I think, is the queen of this. If I go on TikTok and talk anything about Bethenny that's not positive, I get attacked to no end. Mean. Her commenters, her lovers are mean to people that don't like her. They stand up for her like this. So I find her fascinating for that reason. And I've already told you guys about my love hate, right? So yesterday, Tuesday, today's Tuesday? No, yesterday's Tuesday. I always go on, right after my show, I always go into my kitchen and prepare my lunch so I can come back here and do more work. And I always bring my phone with me and I catch up on some TikToks, YouTubes, Instagram, whatever. So I go on Instagram and the first video I see is Bethenny Frankel. I'm not going to post it for you guys because I cannot get into politics and I am so nervous to get a political like conversation going. This is not about what she said. But she went basically and talked about Alex Cooper. Alex Cooper from obviously Call Her Daddy and her interview with Kamala Harris that took place or was aired over the weekend on Sunday. Okay. That's all I'm saying about that. Here's what I find fascinating. Bethenny has gotten in with Alex Cooper. In the last few weeks, Bethenny has been spending so much time with Alex Cooper. She went to her big Soho Hamptons party over the summer, like it was all over her feed. She was posting TikTok. She was hanging out with the Love Island crew with Leah. She was like, with her gays, quote unquote, like she was doing all of that with Alex Cooper. Then she showed up just this last week. In fact, maybe I can find the content of her with Alex because she was posting it like crazy. And you guys know I'm blocked on TikTok. So I can only see her Instagram stuff unless I go to another account to like stalk. But she was posting a bunch of content with Alex Cooper over the weekend. Let me show you. Because Alex Cooper's on tour for this Unwell tour. So this is her and Alex Cooper on 3 days ago. 3 days ago, okay? Very close, very tight. She's obviously like in with Alex Cooper, which is a power duo. This is her with some of the other people that were on the tour. I mean, these are power duos, right? Power duos, Bethenny Frankel and Alex Cooper. Okay. This is the video. If you guys are watching, it was done. I'm not going to get into it, but it was done.
A lot of talk about
Yesterday. It was done on, it says, my take on Kamala Harris on Call Her Daddy. And all I'm going to say about the comments is the first one said, or her caption says, it didn't hit at Call Her Daddy. So what I found fascinating about this is this. She became very close with Alex Cooper recently. She was highlighted by Alex Cooper and spotlighted on her podcast or her tour over the weekend. And yet, Bethenny went on her socials and tore down her friend's choice to have Kamala. Now, she didn't go after Alex. It was more against timing of it all, which a lot of people have talked about online. So that's not so wild to see, but the timing of Kamala going on Call Her Daddy. But it was such an interesting choice considering she didn't say anything about Kamala going on Howard Stern. She didn't say anything about Kamala going on like these other things. She only went after Call Her Daddy, which is her friend. So like, can you imagine being Alex Cooper, who brings Bethenny onto your stage, who's taking all this content, who's inviting her to your party, and days after she's on your stage and you highlight the shit out of her to your audience, your huge audience, she posts to her huge audience that your interview with the Vice President of the United States, whether you like or not, this has nothing to do with politics, didn't hit. I was floored by it. Now, it's not about whether or not I agree or disagree about the content of what Bethenny's saying. I just am shocked that Bethenny had that in her. But I'm not. See, Bethenny loves to empower women, right? But Bethenny, I do believe, has a side of her that is, she struggles with other women's success around her. I do. I believe that. And is there a world that Alex Cooper, like, was able to uplift Bethenny to some place, but the second she kind of sees that Alex Cooper is all of a sudden like the media darling, skyrocketing all over the place, $125 million deal, and gets, I mean, come on, let's be real. It's a great get for a podcaster. The vice president who's running for president a month before the election, any podcaster would jump at that. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think she tore her down for that? I found it interesting. She's done it with others too. I don't think Bethenny is very, very easily around other successful women. I think it's hard for her. She did it with Meghan Markle. She did it with Kim Kardashian. I'm really kind of shocked she did that though to someone who she was just with 2 days ago on her stage. Like, not everything is for public consumption. But if you wanted to go after the vice president's choices in terms of media, there's 10 other things you could say because she's all over the place right now. But to go after Call Her Daddy specifically, I just thought like, wow. That's an ouchie from a friend. And I would, if I were Alex Cooper, be like, you're not a friend. Like, you didn't have to put that on your socials. Because it's not making more people listen to Call Her Daddy, is it? I don't think Call Her Daddy needs the excitement of it or the press of it. But that's just my thought on it. I asked my friend Molly this morning, I said, is there a world where I can talk about the Bethenny and Alex Cooper friendship and the weirdness of it right now without getting political? And she goes, no, because your audience will 100% get into a political debate. And I have to tell you something. All of you guys are doing phenomenal. We have not gotten into a political fight. This is amazing. We can do this, you guys. We can do this. We can talk about these things without fighting. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Now, this is a really interesting point, Mark says. I bet Kamala declined Bethenny's invitation to her podcast. I didn't think about that. Can you imagine if Bethenny had Kamala on her podcast? Or Heather McDonald. Do you think Kamala would get a word in? You guys, it's so good. Thank you so much for steering the right way today. This was really, really, really important. Let's get into our final story, and that's Real Housewives of New York. Did you guys watch it last night? I will tell you something, and I'm concerned, but I was BORED. That's right, BORED. Bored. I'm not feeling it. I love the New York fashion. I love the New York energy. I love how pretty it is on my eyes. It's so pretty on my eyes. Like, it's just like it's eye candy. New York City and fashion. The storylines are horrendously boring. There, I said it. Erin Leachy is the heart of the show. When I say heart, I don't mean the heart, like the actual beating heart of the show. I mean, she is the main character on the show. No one can tell me I'm wrong on that, right? I think everyone can actually believe that Erin is the center of that show. Brynn is not. Saya's not. Even Jenna's not. Jessel's not. It's Erin's show. And it's interesting. It's very I saw a comment today on Twitter that my friend sent me, who really can't stand New York City, said it's as if they tried to recreate Sex in the City, but they ended up with And Just Like That. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is kind of realistic. Now, we do know that Erin is going through a really tough time with her mom. I luckily, knock on wood, where's wood? Have not had to experience a parent getting ill with cancer. I can only imagine how tough that is. And when I say parent, I mean my mom and my dad, not other parents. I can only imagine how tough that is to see your loved one go through chemo. She finds out in this episode that her mom has to go through chemo. Her mom right now was at the Watch What Happens live audience taping, and she seemed fine, thank God, and healthy. So hopefully she is. But and I believe she is. But I had no idea that, because I knew Erin had 5 siblings, or there was 5 of them. I didn't know that Erin is her only what's the word? Her only daughter, her only actual, it's her only daughter. The mom only has 1 kid. So Aaron's mom and dad were married, I guess, had Aaron, then separated, and Aaron's dad went off to have 4 other kids. And that kind of makes sense because all of Aaron's siblings are dark skin, dark hair. I don't know if you've noticed that in pictures. So now it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So that is a lot of stress on Aaron to have to like be the only child to take care of your mother and she's ill, and going and getting a wig and all of that. That is definitely hard. And I can only imagine what that is like. That's got to be horrible. And a lot of you guys have gone through it in the comments. So sending you all the love, because I cannot imagine having to experience that. So we see a lot of scenes of them kind of talking about Aaron. She's getting emotional. She's sharing kind of her stress around it. She's getting a wig with her mom. And we know that Aaron and Brynn need to talk because they got into it the night of that party when they were at the top of the rooftop somewhere, wherever they were. And so, and I found it interesting that Uba was invited with Aaron to the wig store. Didn't you find that interesting? I like Uba and Aaron's relationship. I just like Uba. Uba's energy is just fun for me on screen. Like, I just love her jokes, her comedy. I think she's really gorgeous, of course, to watch, but also just entertaining. She's witty. Like, I don't know. Uba cracks me up. And Aaron is a little bit of like, I'm going to say this with love, but Aaron is a little bit of a monotone person. She doesn't really necessarily bring a lot of energy to scenes. She's not funny. She's not super. Is there a world where I say she's not that interesting? Now, Michelle is not a fan. She says she's a Debbie Downer. And I can kind of see that, actually. But knowing now that she was going through this, doesn't that give her a little bit of a way to be a Debbie Downer? And I'm not going to lie, but I will say this. And I understand season 1, she was also maybe. This last year, I promise you this is not going to turn into October 7th conversation, but this last year for Jews and especially Israelis, and Aaron is Israeli. Aaron's father died in Israel. It's been the hardest year of my life, hands down, no questions asked. So I give her a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Her mom was dying of cancer, or very ill with cancer. Her husband was clearly, and we'll get into it, lying to her about financial stuff. She was getting attacked probably left and right online because she's on a Real Housewives show. And she was going through, knowing that her family and friends in Israel were in a very dangerous, precarious situation. And she's Jewish here in Los Angeles. I mean, in New York City, in America, where there's protests against you every day. Like, I don't know. I kind of have to say, I understand a little bit that she's not the happiest, going through a lot. Whereas like Sai has not shared anything with us about her personal life, of why she would be going through a lot last season. Did we get like such a big story of anything going on in Sai's personal life? Not really. So like, it does give me a little bit of I don't know. Now, Sai and Jenna have a great conversation where they talk about their relationship, and they talk about kind of how one person is, how Sai feels like she needs to be softer, and they have a conversation about it. And then they started talking about Brynn, and Brynn sending a text message, something about carbon monoxide. And this is where I was like, Brynn is too much for me. Brynn, turn it down. Everything about you. Brynn equals drama. Brynn equals like over the top emotion. It's too much for me. And this text is exactly that. She goes, I'm not one to go out there and like specifically say anything. I'm like carbon monoxide. I come in there you won't smell me. I'll just surround you and I'll take you down. Like, what? It's over the top. She's annoying. Then, we have Aaron going to we have a whole scene with Raquel and her family. I like Raquel. I'm not really getting what she's doing there yet, other than just like showing us a cool personality in New York City. But seeing Raquel with her fiance, who is, I forget what she does, like a forensic psychologist or something like that. And like their kids, or I think it's Raquel's kids, and they're cooking and they're laughing and they're hanging out with their dogs. Like, I actually really like them. They're fine to me. I just don't really get where they kind of fit in yet to the crew and why they're there. But I like them. We have this scene with Aaron going to Bryn's house. And let me just tell you, on a scale of 0 to 10, being 0 being an immature zygote and 10 being, a mature, emotionally stable woman, Bryn is -4. Ugh. Her attitude sucks. I'm going to give this bitch tap about the tap water. And then all of a sudden, sitting there on the couch and just like not even looking at Aaron and just looking at her phone. It's giving my 9-year-old when he's mad at me, or my 11-year-old when he's like feeling dramatic. It's so over the top. Like, I can't. So they get into this huge fight about everything. She calls Aaron Staten Island. Poor Aaron always gets shit about where she lives in the cities that she's. I'm not Staten Island. Are any of you guys from Staten Island? If so, I am so sorry. That was a rude ass snobby comment. I didn't like it at all. Then we see Aaron and Abe go to this amazing looking restaurant. I don't know where it is. I wish I knew because the food looked phenomenal and I was really hungry when I was watching it. So all I was thinking about is like, I need my freaking hands in that hummus right now. It looked amazing. So they were talking about their relationship. Now, this is the moment where we finally find out what has been holding Aaron and Abe back. And I am disappointed. I'm disappointed in two things. I'm disappointed in the fact that Abe is lying financially about things with his wife. And I'm disappointed that that's all it was. I know it could be a really big deal, but I was hoping it was going to be something a little bit more salacious. He sold Bitcoin. Who has Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin a thing? Someone out there is going to be like, you're an idiot. Is Bitcoin a real thing? Because I bought an NFT once and I don't even know where it is. It's lost somewhere. I think I bought Bitcoin once too. But anyway, he got rid of like probably, I would imagine, a few $100,000. It had to have been more than just $10,000, right? He got rid of a bunch of Bitcoin, sold Bitcoin, and then also is moving money around. And this is red flaggy because financial infidelity is real. We've talked about this so many times on the show. Financial infidelity is real. And for a man to be hiding his finances from his wife is telling. Is very, very telling. So it does feel a little bit like, what else is he hiding? Now, he does mention a little bit about the fact that she was raised in a different way. He came into the relationship. She was financially very well off. And he feels like he needs to work his ass off to kind of keep her happy. And I will say, I feel for him because I am married to a man and I am very much a financial attributor or contributor to this marriage. I would say we both contribute just as much, if not more. Well, I mean, if maybe more one time and less one time or whatever, it's like up and down, but we're very much a double income family. And I guarantee you, I'm so glad that I'm not, and this is going to sound really, really like sexist maybe, but I'm so glad that I'm not the husband that has a wife that wants like a certain kind of lifestyle and it's up to me to afford it for her. Like that would really, really stress me out, So anyway, they have this conversation. And then I thought to myself, what in the world made them agree to bring this on the housewives? This is humiliating for Abe. It's a humiliating situation. It feels very much like she is calling him out for lying to her. And then also it's putting a spotlight on them of shade, and it's making me feel like you're about to get freaking audited. Because there's one thing we know about money and housewives. It never ends well. I mean, some people are doing really well, but a lot of these ones are involved in some shady practices. And so I felt really bad for him in this scene. I really did. But I am also concerned what it means. Because for him to allow this to be a storyline, knowing that his kids are going to be able to watch it, his family and all of his friends and his coworkers, and the importance of being a man to these men. I was like, wow, this is like Lance would never agree. Lance would never agree. Now, Trisha says, but it's their reality. That's what we want. No? Yes, we do. I want it. I just can't believe they allowed it. Like, there's so many secrets that these people constantly hide from the cameras. Let's be real. So I was just really surprised that they had that conversation. He looks very tired in the scene. He looks very depressed, and it makes me wonder. I hope there's nothing else that we don't know. Did anything really else happen? There was a whole scene between Sai and we saw Jenna go rock climbing with her son and her friend and her assistant. And this was like the ragtag crew of New York City. It was like these four, just kind of like, I felt like I was watching an 80s film when I saw them walking down the street, just like, yeah, we're going to rock climb. And they went rock climbing. And I get it. They're trying to humanize Jenna more than they did last season. They're trying to give her more of a storyline. And I still feel oddly not connected to her. I guess it's also because then she got into a $230,000 Bentley, which was very hard. I mean, it's fun to watch rich people, but it is a little bit hard to watch. So then they start talking about the fact that they're going back to Erin's house in I don't know where, Hamptons, wherever she is. I'm in shock that this is happening again. And they're talking about how Uba and Sai are going to drive because they don't want to be with Bryn, most likely. And she also doesn't like to do helicopters. Sai doesn't want to do helicopters. I understand that. I'm petrified. But the people that end up on the helicopter are Bryn, Jessel, and Rebecca Minkoff. And this is where we have that conversation that we see in the trailers where Bryn is saying to Rebecca, they're breaking the fourth wall big time, and saying to Rebecca, what do we do when the press asks us that you're a Scientologist? And Rebecca says, say no comment. She goes, yeah, I just got a text from the Daily Mail. They're going to put a whole article out the second that we started filming. I'm like, oh, we're just like breaking the fourth. We're just talking about the fact that you're on a reality show and you're a Scientologist. She doesn't want anyone to talk about it. Well, then get the hell off our show. If you can't talk about Scientology and that's all yes, you do handbags at Nordstrom Rack and you're a Scientologist. Give us it. Give it to us. Not a fan. And not a fan of Rebecca Minkoff's keeping that between them. And that's it. That was the end of the episode, to the point where I thought to myself, that can't be it. Nothing happened. But that's Real Housewives of New York, I guess, this season. Nothing happens. And remember when we saw the trailer, it wasn't giving. So it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. All right, those are my thoughts on all the things. Thank you so much for subscribing to the show. Be here every single day, Monday through Friday, Daily Dose of Donna on all your podcast platforms. Make sure to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and leave a comment. Engage, share it, show your friends, help out a show. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys, and let's talk mañana. Bye.